Hey guys, Noel here, and it is Friday. We'll have a little bit of free time on our hands. That'll be fun to do a video for the video game section of the Noel Comics YouTube channel. Today, we're going to do a response to one of my favorite YouTubers' videos. Her name is Zuvi. She's a channel called Zuvi's Game Room. Check it out; it's quite good. She's definitely got more subscribers than me, so if you're watching my channel and you like my content, you probably really like her content because it's quite good. Anyway, so she is a Japanese gamer, and she was asked recently, why is Sonic not popular in Japan? And she basically read some Japanese comments, and the comments were not particularly all negative at all. In fact, there were a decent amount of comments that were saying, like, oh no, I like Sonic. It's just that there's these issues as to why he doesn't have more mainstream appeal. And then there were other people that were like, I don't like him for this reason. What I'm going to try to do in this video is tell you, at least from my perspective, why I prefer Sonic to Mario. And as someone who grew up gaming in the United States, my perspective is probably going to be different from people in Japan's, because the Super Famicom was much more popular in Japan than the Sega Mega Drive. Not to say that from what I've heard, like, the Sega Mega Drive had a presence there, but it was more like a middling presence as opposed to being like the market leader like it was in the United States. Now, the funny thing is like Sega Saturn is probably my favorite video game console, and there were no good, I would say there's no good Sonic games in the Sega Saturn, because the Mega Drive's Genesis Sonic games were ported over to the Saturn in Sonic Jam, and that's a really good game. But I don't know, I guess it came along fairly late in the Saturn's lifespan and received very, very little advertising in the United States. In the United States, Sega Saturn did not sell well because it was advertised very poorly, whereas Sega Saturn in Japan sold very well, in my opinion, because it was advertised fantastically. Sonic, actually, I think was advertised very well in Japan. Some of my favorite Japanese commercials are for Sonic the Hedgehog games. My theory as to why Sonic is, as a person in the United States, my theory as to why Sonic was not as having as impactful a presence in Japan as in the United States probably has most to do with the fact that Super Famicom had the market dominance, and it did not have market dominance in the United States. In fact, when I was in elementary school growing up, Sega was the cool system, and like there were people who had Super Nintendo. It was, I would say, it was like 60-40 Sega, or maybe a little less, maybe like 55% pro Sega. Sega usually was preferred, at least in my social circles growing up, to Super Nintendo. And I'm going to tell you why I like Sonic better than Mario. It's not just youthful nostalgia. There's actually, I'm 38 now, and there's things I like about Sonic and Mario, but I'm going to try to address some of the comments that were in that Zuvi video, in terms of like where did they have merit, where do I disagree with them, and in terms of answering that, hopefully I can shed some light on Sonic's merits as they exist in terms of my perspective. Well, let's begin here. A pretty relevant comment that was in that thread that Zuvi was reading was like, Sonic's games are not consistent, and I can say, at least as far as the Mega Drive Genesis, aka Genesis, and Sega CD, there was not a bad mainstream Sonic game. Sonic Spinball was okay, and Mean Bean Machine is Puyo Puyo, which is not bad either. So those games, certainly Spinball and Puyo and Mean Bean Machine Puyo Puyo, were not bad at all. But when we're talking like Sonic 1, 2, 3, Sonic and Knuckles, and Sonic CD, those games are my favorite platform games ever, and Sonic Mania is on par with those. That is another one of my favorite platforming games. So what is so good about those games? The games I find much more engrossing than the Mario games. The character sprites are much larger, they're much more expressive. The gameplay is both faster and I would say smoother, and the music in the Mega Drive and Sega CD Sonic games is very, very good. It matches the speed, the pop art environments. Aesthetically, Sonic is very explosive. Like, Mario is kind of cute and static and still and friendly, but with Sonic, it's very vibrant. It's almost like you're in a 1980s music video with a Japanese anime hedgehog running around to J-pop and Michael Jackson, background music. And it's very, it's very kind of like emotional. You get like very into the game as you see, say, Sonic kind of like moving through the loops, and the music kind of pulls a lot out of you as a listener. Whereas with Mario, the music is very quaint, it's relaxing, the game is well drawn, but to me, it's not as evocative or engaging as a Sonic game. Sonic's design also is something that came up in that Zuvi video. I'm going to get to that in a second, but I want to just continue to address the issue of the consistency of Sonic games. I didn't really play any of the 3D Sonic games other than Adventure in any serious length, so I can't really speak to it. My take is that once Sega stopped being a hardware manufacturer, their attention to quality control declined. So for Nintendo, it would be unthinkable for them to make a bad Mario game or a bad Zelda game. They wouldn't allow themselves to make that. Or if they did, it would be accidental because they were trying to get too experimental. It wouldn't be for lack of effort. And their standard of quality is tied to their hardware. And I feel like when I was growing up, Sega did the same thing, right? You'd be hard-pressed to find a bad Japanese-made Sega Mega Drive or Sega Genesis game, whether it's, Streets of Rage, like Bare Knuckle, or the Sonic games, Nights into Dreams, or that would be for the Sega Saturn, Sonic CD, there's just a bunch of really, really good the Phantasy Star RPGs. When you saw a game from Sega, it meant quality because that was tied to their hardware's reputation. Once Sega became a producer of software, all of a sudden, I don't know, it just seemed like the quality of their games was more sporadic, and I could see that having an adverse effect on Sonic's reputation. But in terms of him being a mascot and his design being cool, I really like Sonic's design. It's very, it's very both simultaneously cute and edgy at the same time, I always really liked how his eyes were very kind of annoyed looking, he was both simultaneously happy, but kind of mad and annoyed and energetic all at the same time. There's a lot going on in his expression, which I, find very interesting. And he's also very cute. Mario's just kind of cute, warm, friendly guy, right? Now, the other thing about Sonic that I find interesting is his original Japanese story where he was, in a band and he had this blonde groupie named Madonna. I thought that was really cool, and it really went with this idea of, Japan romanticizing cool American 80s style. And I really wish that this, had been hung on to more thoroughly. And also, Sonic had his head kind of sharp teeth to kind of go with that edge to him. But still, his American artwork was still really cool in the early going during the Genesis Sega CD, time as well. So, Sonic's design is, I'm just a big fan of it. I don't dislike Mario's design. Now, Zuvi had said something along the lines of that Japanese gamers didn't like Sonic's Dreamcast style design, which I think is interesting because, I'd always heard these big stories about how, what's her name, Madeline Schroeder. I get really annoyed when I hear Tom Kalinske and all these Sega of America people talking about how they fixed Sonic because they didn't like the original Japanese design of him, which I mean, I like to do a lot of fan art of that design where Sonic, you know, looks kind of like a more of like an edgy anime character who's in a rock band, you know. And then but they're like, no, you know, we in America, we fixed Sonic by, you know, making him look more like he was on a 80s Atari cover. And they made this like weird backstory where, you know, he was connected to some doctor named Kintobor, which is Robotnik backwards. Like, but you know, I don't know. I like to like mine for the old Japanese mangas from the early '90s, where he's either starting out in a band, or then there's the one where he's kind of like the Incredible Hulk, and he starts off as like a nerdy kid in this like anthropomorphic animal world, and like Eggman is like this comic relief evil villain, and he's like this nerdy kid named Nicky, and then he'll black out and turn into Sonic. And Amy Rose actually got introduced in that. Like, Amy Rose was in that before she was in Sonic CD, as far as everything that I've seen. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've only beaten the original Mario for the Famicom in Mario 64, and I play a lot of Mario USA and Mario 3, and I really like Mario Party. So don't get me wrong, like, Mario games are phenomenal, but when I sit down and play a Sonic game, I'm just really, it's almost like an artistic experience. Like, take a listen to the Japanese Sonic CD soundtrack. It's very experimental, interesting music. Like, Sonic does a lot of stuff that is very much kind of out of both MTV, Andy Warhol, Akira Toriyama. You know, it's like they did this really interesting job of combining vibrant, edgy, both Japanese and American styles, and that's something that aesthetically really speaks to me at a much deeper level than the Mario games do. And that is not taking anything away from Mario, because I love Mario. But I'm just saying, like, Sonic has got a really interesting, cool style. In addition to the fact that, you know, I'm talking about the music, like, the composer from Dreams Come True, which is a good Japanese band, you know, did the music on the first two games. But then for, you know, like Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles, you've got Michael Jackson and his crew actually doing the soundtrack. So, I don't know. I feel like Japan has an appreciation for Sonic. I feel like Sonic is probably more like how we in the United States view like Samus from Metroid. You know, it's like she's known, and it's like, oh yeah, she's kind of cool. You know, she's cool. You know, but it's like it's not like, you know, like let's get a giant balloon of her and put her in the Macy's Day Parade, which Sonic had and has had for, you know, numerous years. So, I don't know. I think I would agree that Sonic's original design is superior to his Dreamcast design, but I don't dislike his Dreamcast design, but I think that this design right here, it's like cuter and edgier. I think the Dreamcast design, and which was in Sonic X, which is a very good, I like Sonic X a lot. Speaking of Dragon Ball, Hinorobu Kageyama did the opening theme song to that, which is really good. So take a listen to that. You know, the Dreamcast design, I think they were trying to kind of maybe like go and try to get a little bit more of that original design look, but then kind of screwed with it maybe a little bit too much. It's not bad. I mean, let's kind of go take a little gander here. I mean, I've got this Michael Jackson thing here, and we've got like the original Sonic, and then we've got, you know, like the Dreamcast Sonic right here. So, I mean, it's all good. I mean, and I really do like the, I'm trying to find my Sonic Adventure. Hang on, right here in my Dreamcast games somewhere. Where are you? There's Sonic Jam. Sonic Adventure. There it is, right here. You know, like, I think that design is cool, you know? But, like this right here, I mean, it's definitely cool. I like it a lot. It does have a lot of edge to it. But I don't know. Something about this just speaks to me a little bit more. Either way, I think it's good either way. But I'm kind of rambling a little bit, but I think there's some merit to the claims of a lack of consistency in the post-hardware Sega games. But when you're talking in terms of like the actual games on the Sega Mega Drive, on the Sega CD, those games I think have a lot more aesthetic depth and engaging quality than the Mario games. And I just wanted to kind of share my thoughts on that. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. And until next time, guys, my name is Noel. You take care, and I'll see you in the very near future. Bye-bye.